Okay, we start off, ladies and gentlemen. I'm on a few problems with my slides, but hopefully they'll load up in a few minutes. But just a quick introduction from myself before Gavin comes on. My name's Adrian Hibbert. I'm based in Cardiff, in South Wales. Well, just on the outskirts of Cardiff, a place called Sully, in between Penarth and Barry Island, actually. I'm from a place called Tonopandi originally. That's in the Rhondda Valley. So basically, my background is I'm a property investor. Basically, I've been involved in property for the last 20 years. I actually bought my first property in 1994. Sadly, my gran died, and rather than selling the house on the open market, my parents decided to. Well, I actually asked my parents, did they mind actually selling the property to me? So that was my first property that I bought. So in 1994, I paid £12,000 for my first property, which I turned into a buy-to-let. So yeah, there you go. My slides are back up now. So there's a picture there of myself, my partner, and her two daughters, who I've known for the last 9 years. I've been with my partner for the last 9 years, and I've known the two girls since they were 5 and 9. They're now actually 14 and 18, and that's a photograph in Cardiff Bay. That's where I normally hang out throughout the week, and mainly on the weekend as well. So yeah, I started in British Gas in 1986. I spent 10 years of my time there, basically in a rat race situation, working 9 till 5. Yeah, it was great the first few years. The wages weren't that bad. I think they were around 14,500. Even in 1986, I was on quite a good wage. So yeah, there was nothing to moan about at that time. But after a few years in, I got a bit fed up of working the rat race, and even then, I was thinking of getting out and doing something myself. I was made redundant in 1996. I had a nice sum of £15,000. That was a nice cash payment to help me through. I was also given an extra £3,000 cash bonus to use for any training or any future job I took on board. At the time, I went to the BSM, British School of Motoring, and trained to be a driving instructor. So I did that for 2 years. It was about 9 months to 12 months actually through the training, and I was actually 12 months on the road teaching people. It was I thought basically it'd be an easy job from what you see of people on the roads, but it was very stressful, long hours, and 9 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock in the night. I was lucky to get £12. And basically, time you take out your overheads, your petrol, and the running costs, it wasn't much left at the end of the week, except a lot of stress. I also then took on a taxi business. That was a 2-year project. I ended up with about 6 cars and started renting up the cars, as well as driving a car myself. Long hours again, but yeah, Friday and Saturday night, working until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. But I did come away with £200-300 a night, even then, on a Friday night, and another £200-300 on a Saturday night. So yeah, it was well worth it at the time, but again, long unsociable hours. I also set up a mobile phone business, then following from the taxi business in 1999. I was always a bit of a gadget guy, and basically, just 2 seconds. Sorry guys, yeah, I was always a bit of a gadget guy, so I decided to get the mobile phones, and at the time, mobile phones was the in thing. Everyone wanted their phones unlocked. Everyone wanted the gadget. There was things like car chargers and carry cases for around 29 pence, and actually selling them for like 9.99. So you can imagine the markup and the profit on that at that time. But sadly, a lot of people started jumping on the bandwagon, and a lot of people started sort of copying that sort of trend. And then the markup started to come down, and eventually I was buying at sort of 29, even 49 pence. And I was lucky to get £2.99 a carry case after about 2 years of in the business. So I sold up, and then obviously started to get out. Let me just readjust my slides. And then basically, after the mobile phone business, I started to get into property. As I was just saying earlier, I bought my first property. Sadly, my gran died. I bought that for £12,000, and I used just a £1,200 deposit at the time, a 10% deposit, and the rest was on a buy-to-let lending. My second property in 1996, that was a property I actually lived in myself. The first one I rented out, the second one I lived in. and there was a 3-bed semi, a bit more upmarket. Again, 10% deposit, 2,900 down, and the rest borrowed. I lived there for a short time, and then eventually I met my partner at the time, and actually moved in with my partner. This is my ex-partner now as we speak, but basically I moved in with her and basically rented out my second property. So yeah, I was living with my partner and had 2 properties on the go, bringing a nice little income on 2 of the properties. I attended a property course actually in London around 1999, and it cost me £3,000 for a 1-day workshop involving property, learning how to buy and sell property. Basically, it was one of the first, I think it was the first property course in London, and I attended that to give me a bit of a buzz, well motivated me, and I ended up buying 36 properties then between 1999 and 2007. So that's me all in total, 38 properties as of today, and a cash income now of around £5,000 every month, which comes into my bank account. Obviously, I got the management costs, but that's after costs basically. So that's the money I actually live off now as we speak, around £5,000 a month. When the property market crashed in 2008, I thought this is a good time to take a holiday. I always wanted to move to Spain, so I actually took a 2-year holiday, rented a detached villa with sea views, south facing, pool, all singing and dancing. So I thought, let's live the life for a bit. I've worked hard, let's live a better life. So I spent 2 years of my life in Spain, and it was just a couple of months before I went to Spain that I actually met my current partner now, Virginia. So the timing wasn't very good, but Virginia and her daughter, they came out and visited me quite regular for the 6 weeks holidays, for the bank holidays, Easter holidays, etc. So yeah, we kept the momentum going there with the relationship. That was great. But after 2 years, it got a bit bored really, and after working with a company called Atlas International selling property out there, I ended up coming back to the UK after about 2 years, and that's when then I started looking for other ways of making money online. And basically, I got involved with a few opportunities between 2008 and up until today's date. A lot of opportunities, obviously, which have come and gone. Advertising companies, penny auction sites, all similar type of products. But basically, most of them lasted between 6 months and 2 years, and then they just gone basically. And I was quite lucky. I made money out of 2 of them. 157,000 out of one of them, and 57,000 out of the other one. One was a penny auction, as I was saying, and the second one was a banner advertising company. But basically, what I've gathered over my experience since 2008, there's no get-rich-quick scheme online. There's more scams online actually than there is real businesses, and I think I've come across the right one now as of today, Viral Angels. I've been following the process of Viral Angels over the last 2 years, but didn't actually join until 8th of May this year. And obviously, Gerwin Duggan, who I'll pass you on to now shortly, he's the guy who brought me into the business. He kept on to me for a while, but suddenly I did give in eventually around the 8th of May. I had a lot of stuff going on before that, but I thought this is a good time now to get involved. The momentum was gathering and people were starting to join. So yeah, I joined as a gold member, and I put FAT, which is €89 a month, a gold member. I'm actually on an emerald membership now, which is around $550 a month. I also put €5,000 into my own cash on a credit card in May, and that's actually grown to around 16,100 now as the shares have gone up. So yeah, basically there's the chairman of Viral Angels, Philip Reed. I met him out in Stockholm, Sweden a few weeks ago. That was a great one night, well, 2 full days actually, and I went out with Gerwin and a guy called James Rowney. There's the CEO of Viral Angels, Anthony Norman. I've met him on a number of occasions. There's James Rowney, the guy who came up with us. He should be on the webinar tonight. I think Gerwin was actually taking the photographs. He always complains he's not in these photographs, but I think he's actually taking them. But there's a photograph outside the Viral Angel offices, and that's the sponsorship of Trig sponsoring the page there. And there's us just chilling out on the morning of arrival at the hotel. Anyway, it was a great place, Stockholm. That's where the Viral Angels head office is. Lovely scenic place. First time I've been to Sweden, and yeah, I look forward to going again. And there's one of the better pictures, the Viral Angels drum of beer or lager, and it didn't last very long. It was obviously full at the top there, but time me, James and Gerwin finished it, there wasn't much left. Is that right, Gerwin? You there?
Yeah, correct.
So yeah, basically we had a great day out in Stockholm a few weeks ago. Me, James, and Gerwin, and yeah, we look forward to the next one out there. And we met the staff, the chairman, the CEO, all the people involved up there. And that's what I like about this business. This is the first actual business I've been involved in online where I've actually met the real people that actually run it, basically. Because that's one thing on its own. Because there's so many people so many businesses online where you actually don't get to see these sort of real people behind the scenes. But anyway, I'll pass you quickly on to Gerwin, and Gerwin's going to run through the presentation. And any questions you can put in the chat bar. I'll be watching the chat bar and taking notes, and then we'll go through a quick Q&A at the end. Over to you, Gerwin.
Okay, thanks, Adrian. Right, yeah, there was some. Just make sure you can see my screen, which is gone black. Right, can you see that?
Let me have a look.
Yes.
Let me stop sharing my screen. Hold on. No, nothing. Yeah, I can see now. Gary, you're up now. Yeah, here you go.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, I did notice in the chat bar somebody, Craig, welcome Craig. I think it was Craig. I think he wants a translation from Welsh, or Winglish as we call it, to English. But yeah. I will say that I know myself and Adrian are Welsh, but anybody can actually do it. Being Welsh is not an advantage in VA, even though it is in rugby and several other sports. But that's sorry for saying that, but there you go. Anyway, 2 years and 4 months ago, I seen VA for the first time, and I liked the look of it. Thought, hey, this can do some serious business, and for the first 12 months, we were sort of building it very, very slowly, because what we needed was critical mass, and critical mass is basically enough members to attract decent companies. And we started to really grow around about 12 months ago, and that started to attract real classy companies coming on board. In the last 12 months, there's been an exciting trip for us. So if you're on here for the first time, just looking at this, realize a lot of the groundwork has been already done, and VA runs very slick now. And obviously it's not perfect. No business is. It comes up with challenges like every business. But from an investor point of view, or from a builder point of view, then this can really tick many boxes for you. So, there we go. Hopefully this is going to work. Right, what are we? We're a closed club of private investors, or a credit union, whichever way you want to look at this. It was founded in June of 2012, and it operates in more than 17 countries, and we've got members in 70 plus countries now as well. And the main office for Viral Angels is in Stockholm, in Sweden, which we were, like Adrian said, we were at a couple of weeks ago, where we had the opportunity to meet the management and the team, covering 2 floors, and there's a lot of bodies there running this company, which is great. And our offices for the actual corporate side of the business, or the broker side of the business, is based in London, in the city, in a place called Flintoff Street. And so Viral Angels as a credit union is based in Stockholm, but the actual corporate advisors, of which Philip Reed, as just said, is the chairman, and that is based in London. So what does Viral Angels do? First of all, it selects companies and takes a strong stock holding position in that company. So I'll give you an example. Back a couple of months ago, and I always use the same example because I know the exact figures on it. A couple of months ago, back in I believe it was May, they partnered up with a company called MyCab International, which is a luxury airport transfer company, and they took 10% of that company. Now, they'd obviously done some capital into that company, but what they'd done for that capital, or what they got for that capital, was 10% of the company's shares. Now, that equated to 40 million shares. 8 million of those shares were actually kept by VA, and 32 million of those shares were divided between the members. So we all became shareholders in that company. Now, That company was particularly looking to go down it was already floated on one of the small cap markets, but it was looking to increase its number of shareholders to actually go to a large cap market, which is in the process of doing. And so by Viral Angels instantly giving it a lot of shareholders, we've got over probably approaching 6,000 members now, and that gives any company a lot of shareholders instantly. And companies cannot go to the stock market without shareholders. So Viral Angels ticks that box for the companies that we're partnering up with. So it's raising capital and assisting in marketing, because the guys behind VA as a team have listed over 200 companies in their careers, so they basically know what they're doing, and it helps them prepare for the initial public offering. And like I've already said, VA stock holdings or Viral Angel stock holdings are distributed with 80% to the members, and 20% are retained by Viral Angels. So what do you actually get with VA? You get free shares by weekly allocations on a Wednesday night at 11 p.m. or between 11 and 11:30, depending on what your initial is, because it's all done in alphabetical order. So some people might get them at 11:30, and then people phone up saying, "Hi, I haven't had my shares," and they get them 5 minutes later. So they always come after 11 o'clock on a Wednesday evening. You become a shareholder then in hand-picked promising companies before they are listed. Like the last couple of weeks, we've had shares in a company called Athabasca Resources Limited. And Athabasca is, I'm sorry to say, a Welsh-registered company, which is devised a new way of actually extracting the oil out of the oil sands of Alberta in Canada. And when we've taken a number of shares in that company, and after I finish this, I'll do a back office share, screen share, to show you the way that these particular stocks have progressed in the Viral Angels back office. And just as an example, VA's got a stake in that, which means, well, they've got a stake in that. And a company called TXO, which is an investment company which just specializes in investing in oil companies. It was in the Financial Times and several other newspapers a few weeks ago that they have just acquired 20% of Athabasca. So this is a very exciting stock which we've got. So there's no need for big personal capital, because all you do is pay an affordable monthly fee that fits your budget. If somebody doesn't want to come onto this and just think, oh, I'm going to just buy a big package once, you're better off buying a smaller package over a period of time. Because when you look at the way that this operates, this is not some kind of get-rich-quick scheme. Adrian, can you switch your mic off? This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not something which is going to make you £1 million over the next 2 weeks. And you've got to give this thing, you've got to give it time. It's a long-term savings plan. Stocks are not an overnight thing. You've got to give it time, and I make no bones about that. So there's no need for big personal capital. You just pay a fixed, affordable membership fee that fits your budget. But what you can do with this is you can actually trade the shares when you want. There is no need to wait until they're listed. So you can trade them between members in the platform itself. So that gives an advantage to us over other companies. And funny enough, I got phoned today from a company wanting me to invest in pre-launched companies. And they said their minimum investment, and this was based in Taunton for some unknown reason, but the minimum investment that they wanted was £20,000, and the last one I seen was 25,000. So the price seems to be coming down, but you can't trade those stocks until the company's floated, and also unless they're spreading their companies, then you're taking a bit of a risk. Whereas VA, we've got 14 different companies on board, so it's spreading the risk. And not all of these companies are, of course, going to succeed. But with some of the companies that we got on at the moment, we only need 1 or 2 of them to fly. And imagine what that is going to do. Now, you've got certain levels of membership. Silver has been discontinued, so it starts at gold at €89 a month, and that goes up to diamond at €990 a month. But let's take it as a gold. Then what you get as a gold, you get your weekly allocations on a Wednesday, And as an example, if you had, and I'm giving you a ballpark figure, if you had 100 shares, it could be one worth £100 or 100 worth £1. It doesn't matter about the numbers; it's the value of the stock. Then, if you had 100 there at gold, then at platinum you'd get 195. The amount of shares that you get does go up exponentially. So it's not so at black diamond, as an example, you get 1,668, I do believe, off the top of my head. So the more you do, the bigger your package, the more shares you actually get on a weekly basis. And then at platinum and above, you get what's called an option pool, which means you get an extra allocation on a Saturday. And at diamond and black diamond, you get extra allocations on top of that as well. So, you know, just but come in with what you can afford, no more. So you get weekly share allocations. You get access to the VA trading platform. You get the entry into the Viral Angels bonus program. You get education and training through VA TV, and you get a prepaid card. Now, and that actually you got to order the prepaid card directly, you know, from a company called T24. But when we go back a couple of weeks ago, when we were at a meeting in London, we had 4 of the CEOs of the companies which VA members have shares in actually doing presentations, and you can see 2 of those presentations in the VA back office at the moment. But in what other sort of business can you actually invest in a company and you can actually meet the CEOs of those companies? It's completely unique, and once people understand this, it's quite mind-blowing, because there's 2 ways you can invest. A normal way is find the right company. Well, quite frankly, unless you're in the know in the city, how do you know what is the right company? You need solid personal capital, which, to be fair, most people haven't got. You need the knowledge and experience, and that's something which I personally haven't got. You know, people say, well, how do they float a company, and how do they do this, and how do they do that? Well, if I knew how it was done, I wouldn't be in Viral Angels. I would be doing it myself. So we don't need to have the knowledge. The knowledge and experience come from the team at Viral Angels, and we don't have to wait until a company is listed if you want to sell the shares. Or you've got to wait for the company to be listed if you want to sell the shares. Now, VA's way is VA does it for you. They find the right companies. You pay affordable and monthly fee. You don't need the experience, and you can sell the shares anytime you want, even before the company is listed. Now, the trading, which takes place, there's no broker fee. There's a low share cost, and believe me, there can be a high profit once you get good at it. And this is only open for paying members of the Viral Angels. Now, you can invite new members and watch your income grow, and there's several different ways that you can build this. Now, I'm just going to stop there and just explain something. First of all, you can make a good income out of the bonuses, but the money is in the shares. And the example which I always use is somebody like my sister, who never came into this to build it as a business. She came into it purely as a saver, just like my 80-year-old father. He didn't come into this to to build a network. He came into this just to actually put some money into it and get a return. Now, as an example, my sister's been paying into this for 19-20 months now, so she's paid in roughly 1,600 and odd euros, and her portfolio is currently worth just short of just over 7,000 euros. So the return for her has been fantastic, and she's never been involved with the bonus or the affiliation side of this business. So you get bonuses in 5 levels. You get monthly bonuses, leadership bonuses, quarterly cash bonuses, special allocations, leadership bonuses, and share bonuses. But I'll repeat this again. The last person who ever jumped, because Viral Angels will be capped, they're saying it's going to be capped at around about 25,000 members, because this cannot grow to hundreds of thousands, because they'd never be able to deliver value to the members with that kind of membership. They'd have to start taking on companies which, for the sake of taking them on, and they're not prepared to do that. But the point is, the last person who joins VA number 25,000 is still going to make a good or have a good portfolio out of VA. So how does the bonuses work? Let's take platinum. If, for instance, you introduced a platinum member, then you would get 15 euros. In real time, that instantly goes into your back office. On the next level, it would be 6, down to level 5. I know it says level 4, but level 1 is level 0. then that would be €6. And it doesn't matter what level you're at, if you're at gold and somebody comes in at black diamond, you would still receive the full real-time bonus. You haven't got to buy yourself to a higher level to receive higher bonuses whatsoever. So as an example, we all like free. If you wanted to come in as a gold membership and 9 people, friends and family or whatever, joined you, then you would be having your membership for completely for free. So it depends on which way you want to look at this. But on top of that, then you get monthly bonuses, which range from 300 to 1,000 euros per month, which mount up rather nicely. And also you get a percentage of the turnover as well, which is once again a very nice income. Now, if you look at this, my actual sponsors 5% bonus at director was just over 27,000 euros, which is a nice little payday for a quarterly bonus. So you can make a considerable amount of money out of this side of the business, but it fades into insignificance with regards to the actual how much you receive in the value in shares. Which, if you wanted to, you could go and sell them whenever you wanted. Now, the aim really is not to sell them between members because the prices are pretty low. But you wait until they go public. But there's nothing stopping somebody actually selling their shares whenever they want. I think James can help me out on this one. But a black diamond who's been paying for the last 2 months, they would have paid in 1,980 euros. Is that right? Yeah, 1,980 euros, and their share portfolio would be probably worth in the region of 3,500 now. So in 2 months their money's practically doubled, which is pretty good. You don't get that in the bank. I was in the bank the other day and they said that we've got some great news for you. We're going to start paying you 0.75% a year on the balance of your current account as long as you keep more than £4,000 in there. I thought, right, okay, but you can. If that's what they want to do, that's fine, but not interested in that kind of money. So basically, you're going to be one of the first in a new worldwide business. Viral Angels is now one of the largest equity clubs in the world, and like I said, it's fully the brokerage part of this in London is fully regulated as well, which is great. So you got a chance to start making money, and all we say is if you are new to this, then join it. Wednesday is a good time to join, because you will have your first allocation of shares at just after 11 o'clock tonight. If you join before 1 minute to 11, that is, not at 3 minutes after, as we have had several people join and then they ask can they have their shares backdated. Well, unfortunately, the computer system will not allow it, so it has to be done before 11 o'clock. So I've covered that pretty quickly, so now it's time for questions and answers. So Adrian, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks, Gary. Right. Okay. I got a few questions that came on via an email earlier on, Gary. I'm not sure if you remember, of a guy called Brian. He had a few questions. What I'm gonna do, I think, and I was talking to Reg about this earlier. All these questions are going to be asked. Like, I'm going to make notes of them. Sounds a bit daft, and put them on the site or a group page, because a lot of questions are repeat questions, from different people as they come in. As they join the business, a lot of new people ask the same questions that have already been asked a few weeks before. So I'm going to build up sort of a collection of Q&A questions, which should help a lot of people out. But one of these questions on the email that was sent today was, how does people, they're quite basic questions, there's one or two tricky ones. How does someone cash in their shares when they want to?
Right. Let me do a screen share. I'll go and cash in a share for you.
Yeah.
Right. Can you still see my screen, or am I?
No, you're not sharing at the moment. No.
Okay, I'll have to. Let me call this up 1 second. Make sure I can get this up. In the meantime, let's answer some of these questions. Oh, hang on. Right. Okay. I don't think they're questions. Right.
Yeah, you carry on with it. I'll keep an eye on the chat.
Okay.
But basically, yeah, that's what I'm finding. Is a lot of people on the inline on the sort of internet marketing world that's just basically struggle with understanding assets. Basically, a lot of people are online and they're just involved with these other style programs, sort of banner programs, advertising programs. There's loads of holiday programs, blogging platforms. There's loads of these sort of programs online. So when something like Violin just comes along, completely different setup, sort of something on its own as a unique opportunity to do with assets and shares. The first thing people think is, oh, shares, they are very risky, and people's mindset, I seem to find, are just on a completely different wavelength.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is the people that I'm prospecting, is just a lot of them are hard work, basically trying to re-educate them in a nice way into the way of thinking. But assets really are a good sort of assets to, sort of good investments to have. Really, they're not liabilities.
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
I can see the screen now. Unless you want to click Control and plus to blow it up a bit, or Command and plus.
Okay. Right. Let's assume that I wanted to cash out some of my shares, right? And these are the offers down the bottom. So if I wanted to sell an Arabasca share as an example, right, I got two ways of doing it. First of all, I bought some of these shares a couple of days ago at £1. Right? Now, I could have the opportunity, if I wanted to, I could go and sell them at 137. Now, let's assume that I bought 1,000 of them. I didn't buy that many because I've been trading them up and down. But if I sold all those 1,000 now between 132 and 137, then that would make me £337 profit from that one trade. Okay, but if I wanted to sell 15 shares there, which I'll show you, I'll sell 3 of them, right? Then that has now gone into my cash account. Okay, so if I go into cash account, then hang on, wait a minute, holdings. Right now, I've been trading quite heavily with Trig over the last couple of days because I'm trying to move my portfolios around. But hold on a minute. Wait. Then that money just went instantly into my cash account there. Okay.
So shares did you sell? You sold 3 shares in Athabasca.
I sold 3 shares in Athabasca, but if I wanted to put it, say, and now I want to buy some, right? So say I, for instance, no, wrong one. That's organic, enough for them. Right, so if I want to go and buy, as an example, 100 shares, and I'm going to put an offer in, and I'm going to click it down to Athabasca. I want to buy 100 shares, and I'm going to offer for 137 there, right? Actually, I don't want to pay that much money, so I'm going to buy 40, right? And I am going to offer £1.37. There's an offer there going in, all right, which is now sitting there. Now, if somebody wants to come along and sell me some of their Athabasca shares for 137, which I would imagine they will within the next sort of half an hour, then the easiest way to trade is then go and pop them up then for sale at £1.39. Okay, so that means you could make 2 pence on every share. So you do them in larger quantities, if that makes sense. Mm. Okay, so going to what you were saying about how do you cash your shares out, you just basically go in there and click sell. So that is not a difficult thing to do.
And as soon as the money appears in your current balance, then you can withdraw that then within a few days.
Correct.
Yeah. Correct. Craig is asking there. Craig Page, what is the T24 card for? And that's actually for withdrawing money. The T24.
It's for withdrawing money, but generally I just put it in my bank account because it's easier for my accountant to work out.
Yeah. 24 card. Can we still order that now, or the?
Well, you can actually go to you go to T24 itself and order the card there direct.
There's a website for that, is there?
Yeah, it's just called T24.
Right. Okay.
Right. Let me give you another example here, guys. Right. So
you lost your screen now. Your screen's gone off.
Okay, I just wanted to change. All right, so no, wrong one. Wrong one. Right. So if you look at that, right, then that is basically a transfer which has just been released today. All right, so that's that'll just be in my bank account tomorrow morning now, and I requested that Monday. So it's taken.
You requested €2,000 on a BACS transfer, basically, and a BAC.
That's on a BACS transfer, yeah.
Yeah. And that's straight from euros, and that goes into your sterling account in the UK, or?
It goes into my sterling account, and then Barclays or whatever bank you got, just do the
conversion.
Do the changeover.
Yeah. But like I said, you've been in this business for over 2 years now, since the beginning, haven't you? So
yeah, I didn't start withdrawing any money out of this until April.
Yeah. So it's taken you over 2 years. A portfolio size of around is it around €300,000 now?
About 300,000, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but obviously I don't. The money which I've got in my back office there, I'm not going to withdraw that. I'm going to use that for that's my trading fund.
So you keep about €9,000 in a float in your back office just to trade and play with, basically.
Yes.
Right. But you're drawing out around a couple of grand every month, depending on how that month goes, basically. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. About January around between 5 and 7.
Yeah.
I don't think I get any more than I need, because I want to use it to invest, to get more money, obviously.
Yeah. So basically, for the average Joe Blogs who's starting off with just say €145 a month as a platinum membership, they're not going to be obviously new in the league for some time, are they? Unless they start to build a team like you.
That's correct. It's like when as an example, I'm attempting to do with Athabasca what we were doing with Trig back about 8 months ago, when a lot of us were sort of trading about $250,000 twice a day.
Mm.
But the difference, the spread on them was so small. We were buying them at sort of 9 cents and then selling them at or €9, as it's called, and then selling them at 10. So it was like making 10% every time. But if you were trading 100,000 shares and gaining 10%, then you're gaining 10,000 shares twice a day.
Yeah.
Right. So that amount of shares built up millions and millions and millions over a period of time.
Well, that's all the big traders making money on the Forex and all kinds of trading platforms. They leverage high amounts in trades, don't they?
That's right, and you know, I started off small, you know, just doing a little bit of trading with a couple of £100, you know, whereas now I tend to do it with thousands.
Mm.
You know, so but I wouldn't have done that in the beginning because I wasn't prepared to risk more than 10% of my shares, and there was always there's always going to be a risk that they can go down. Like 2 weeks ago, I made a mistake and actually bought Athabasca shares at £2.40, thinking that they were going to peak around about 3, but they didn't. They actually dropped back down to £1, right? But now they've gone back up to £1.40 or £1.39. So they're creeping up now more naturally because. What happens with VA is that people are buying and selling shares based on emotion. It's like when the actual newspaper advert came out from newspaper article came out about TXO buying a percentage of Athabasca. Then some people got hold of it, and then the share prices started going up in the back office. So it's like anything else. The stock market in London or anywhere in the world is based on emotion. You know, so there's a war takes place. It can affect the stock market. You know, there's been a horrific event in Canada today. That'll probably affect the North American market slightly. You know, but it's little things will affect the stock market, and it's the same in VA. If somebody sees the price going up, then people will jump on the bandwagon, and all of a sudden. The people who were buying have run out of money, and then it'll start going down again. So it does tend to go up and down, but it grows. And if you take the curve, then it continues to go up on these up and coming companies. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense, definitely. Yeah. And let's just bring that other question back up.
Can I answer Ivor's question? No, it was 1,691 she's paid in because I just checked her account.
Yeah, John is asking, John Bottin, would it be possible to do a masterclass webinar for the team on how to buy and sell shares to make additional revenue.
Right. Okay. That is that is a good idea, John. But unfortunately, due to the code of conduct that we're with VA, is that we're not allowed to give advice on what shares to buy, because we're damned if we do and we're damned if we don't. If I said to people back a couple of months ago, you need to buy share X, and share X went down in value, then we can't do it. You've got to get a feeling for what share you like. I particularly like Athabasca. That is my that's my thing, because I think I like the environmental impact that Athabasca is going to have in Canada, and I also like aerial drones, and specifically fan track. So yeah, it's got to be done. Yeah, I agree. It's got to be done slower, but right when we go in the back office and just monitor it and have a look at the ways the graph grows, or the way the graph goes. Sorry. Then it's quite simple to work out. But by all means, if anybody wants to do a screen share with me on Skype, on one-on-one, then I can show you what I'm doing. And but under no circumstances to myself or Adrian or anybody else offer advice on what shares to buy. We're not allowed. We're not trained. We're not licensed for this.
Yeah.
However much I want to. I really need to change the picture of my car. I sold that 2 years ago.
Yeah, the problem, and I think from a point of an online sort of business point of view, a lot of businesses out there on the internet, they sort of advertise themselves as like a hands-off, like a passive business, don't they, a lot of them, don't they?
Yeah.
But Vital Angels, to a certain extent, it is. I'm not saying it is passive, but to a certain extent, it is passive, because you're just saving with the potential of those shares going up in value. You're not really doing much, you.
Yeah, that's right. Can I go back to John's question there? Right, it's not what we because this company is completely regulated, and it's not what we want to do. It's what we're not allowed to. It's we can say to people, like, this is how to do it, but we can't actually say you buy or sell at this particular price, or this is a good one to have. We can say this is how to do it, and the easiest way to actually put this over to people is, if you go into any sale, you've got two columns. You've got the left hand side and the right hand side. Now, what you do is, as long as you get good at this, you never actually buy on the right hand side. Okay, you never buy on the right hand side. You always put buy offers in on the left hand side, and you're looking at making a spread of a small amount. So don't think that you want to wait to buy at £1 and then sell at £1.40. No. What you want to be doing is buying at £1.30 and selling at £1.32 to actually, so you're getting a small spread on them all the time. And if you learn how to do that, then it's pretty. Sometimes you just pick a stock which doesn't look like it's moving, and it's fixed at and the buy offers are in at 130 and the sell offers are in at 132, and it's been sitting there for 2 days. Then all you do is just constantly put buy offers in for 130 and then put a sell offer in for 132. Okay, so just do them in little spreads all the time.
Yeah.
And start off with a very small amount of money. And going to answering Craig. Do you understand me, Craig? I hope so. but yes, you can. If you wanted to top the money up, you can put it in from a credit card. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Craig was saying. I just answered this question. Can you buy additional shares on top of the subscription? And that's definitely yes. Obviously.
Yes. But I'll say something personally. I've never done it. I've never put any extra money into BA, and quite frank, I've been involved with this industry for a long time, and I've never seen money like this, because I'm quite careful, if you like, with what I do. But if I wanted to now, I could literally pull out 6 figures out of Viral Angels tomorrow. And
yeah,
I'm not going to, because this is a long-term business for me. I'm not in this to make a living, because after being involved with the network marketing industry for so long, all the people who have ever said, you do this once and then you're going to get paid for the rest of your life, count on one how many people have actually achieved that. Because people live to their means too much. They get into a business and they grow, the amount of money that they got coming in, and then they just become broke at a higher level. If you earn 50,000 a year and spend 52, then you're going to be an unhappy person all your life. So earn 50 and sell and by 40, then spend 48, you're going to be happy. So, all I'm saying with regards to John's question there, just keep this simple. Buy low, sell high. So you put a buy offer in low, and then you put a sell offer in a couple of points. Stripe. Always go stripe. It's more efficient.
Yeah. We've got another question here.
Let me answer Ivor's. Ivor, my sister paid 1,600 and something euros. Yeah, she missed 2 months. And that is a good point, actually, because this is really echoing back through your microphone, Adrian.
They shouldn't do. Play it now.
Yeah. Right, just as an example, yes. My sister did pause for 2 months, but that's even if you didn't pay for 2 months, you still keep the shares that you had. You won't ever lose them. So if somebody started and then stopped and started and stopped, then they would keep the shares that they originally had.
But you'd be surprised, Gary, wouldn't you? Because there's so many. Well, I was going to say lazy. That's the wrong word. There's so many people out there that just they pay for 3 or 4 months, and for whatever reason they just get, I don't know, they just lose it, don't they? They just stop for whatever reason, and then either there's a financial problem, or they just stop believing in it, and then they start again, don't they? Everyone's got their own way of doing things.
I was talking to one of the partners yesterday, right, and he showed me that there's 92,000 euros sitting in people's accounts who are not paying. Right? Sitting there. If they wanted to, they could go and withdraw it, but it's just, or spend it on or buy more shares. 92 grand in different people's accounts.
Yeah.
Who can't be bothered to even look at their accounts.
That's right. And I still think that's just people laugh at this, but either they're earning too much money already, or it's just lack of education, or they're just lazy, or they're too comfortable. They're already in a job and they're just happy with the way life is, and they just forget about it, don't they? Sometimes some people, it's strange. How people.
That's right. It's a case of a man walks into a house and he sits down and him and his friend are chatting, and he sees this dog sat in front of a roaring fire, and every now and again the dog goes right and jumps up in like pain, but then lies back down again. And after about 4 or 5 minutes, he says, "Why is your dog doing that?" He said, "He sat on a nail." And he said, "Well, why doesn't he move?" He said, "Because he's too comfortable."
Exactly.
And that's the way that people are. They're hurting, but they're not hurting quite enough to make them do something about it.
And the other thing is, there's so many people have been burnt online, haven't they? Over the last, property's been my background for the last 20 years, but I've always dabbled in some form of network marketing opportunity. But most of them have come and gone, and most people quit them, don't they? They don't last, do they? Or people just quit in general, don't they? Most people, they just give up.
I don't. But how can somebody quit this, even if they pay for 6 months?
That's right. That's what I like about this. The retention in this. All the people that have joined me, I've had about 25 people join me frontline, and I think my team's only about 125 at the moment. But nobody's quit. The retention is there. To me, it'd be stupidity to quit, because people can't afford to quit. Really, it's a savings plan. It's a real asset. It's going to take time. It's not a get rich quick. I really think there's a lot of money at the back end of it.
But Adrian, if you take somebody like a colleague of mine who joined in January and stayed on it for 3 months and then decided not to pay again. Now, he decided not to pay again basically because he couldn't afford to pay again. But during that time, he had a lot of allocations of trig. Now, he repaid again last month and sold all his shares, all of them. And he got just over £1,000. Sorry, just over €1,000. Yeah. And he was the happiest person you could possibly meet.
Yeah.
Because as far as he's concerned, he's tripled his money.
Mm.
All right, and it's the first time he's ever made any money online, ever.
Right. And I've got a list of people. I keep records of all my prospects, and whenever I get in touch with people, they're always doing something else. I guarantee 6 months' time, even 3 months' time, even a month down the line, if I get back in touch with people, they try in another program.
Well,
they don't stick to nothing, do they? Most people don't stick and concentrate on. I know it's good to diversify multiple streams of income, but if nothing's working, you've got to stick to at least something, haven't you, and make it work.
yeah, well, it's up to them. I prefer to stick with something which is regulated in a broker house in London, rather than something which is registered in.
This business is I've got a property background, and all the people I hang around with, I do a lot of networking. I go to property meetups in the evening, and the people I hang around with are accountants, solicitors, lawyers, property guys, all kinds of financial guys, mortgage brokers, and I just find it very easy to promote this business. That's me personally, because I understand assets, property, return on investments. So it's just so easy for me. But a lot of people, don't get me wrong, they may still struggle with this. So they do need the education, don't they? A lot of people.
They do, but also that from their point of view, they still need to look in the back office and get used to it.
Mm.
As an example, nobody's taught me what to do with this. I've actually gone in there and spent so much time looking at it, and eventually the penny dropped.
Yeah. And the only other obstacles I've had, if anything, with this, which is a strange one, is it's quite surprising. A lot of people, even today, it's quite sad, they can't afford at least €89 a month.
Mm.
So, it's just quite incredible, really. But I'm not sure we either feel sorry for them or just try and help them. But 89, it's not asking much, is it, for €89 a month from somebody to invest in their future or even their kids' future, is it? It's not asking much.
Yeah, I did say to somebody the other day that I couldn't afford it, and I asked him how long he was working. He said 20 years. I said, so basically you haven't been able to afford to save £4 a year.
Yeah.
So it's.
Anyway, I got another question from this same guy. Who holds the share certificates? And well, basically, yeah, who holds them? Where do they store the shares?
Nobody gets given paper share certificates anymore. It's all electronic numbers.
Yeah.
All right, and the fact is that if you go onto the brokerage account on VA, you'll see the address of Viral Angels Corporate Advisors, which is a regulated entity, and those shares are pretty damn safe.
Mm.
Okay, so that nobody gets paper share certificates anymore. It's all online.
And let's be fair, if this company would have been well shut down by now by the FCA or the trading standards, surely by now, if there was a flaw or a problem with this company, it would have been shut down well before now, wouldn't it?
You wouldn't get like Triggs just floated on or Triggs Socials just floated on the Frankfurt stock market, and if they want to think that the Frankfurt stock market is dodgy, then that's up to them.
Yeah.
Because believe me, those people haven't got any sense anyway.
That's right. Another question there. Are UK investors still protected? Are they protected in any way, despite VA being regulated outside the UK? But that question was a bit back to front, wasn't it?
Back to front. It's not like you can't regulate a club.
Yeah.
That's what VA is, an equity club. The actual broker house or the brokerage in London is regulated.
Yeah. And our address is on the bottom left of the website, isn't it? Right. Website.
Correct.
Yeah. Bottom left of the web. Oh, yeah, I can see it now. It's Viral Angels Credit Union. Oh no, that's the address in Sweden. I've seen the London address somewhere. I can't think where I've seen it.
If you go onto e-wallet and marketplace.
Yeah.
Then it's underneath there.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, 4 Fieldcroft Street, London, England. Yeah, company, and it's got a company number, registered company number.
Yeah. So basically, let me just give you another quick example. In the back office, you've got 2 types of offers. You've got if it just says add offer, then you're just offering out to sell between members. Now there's 2 companies which are already floated on exchanges, and those have got to be over-the-counter offers. Now, what that means is that when you actually place an offer there, it goes to the external broker, who then sells them, buys or sells them for you.
Mm.
Okay, now there is a charge of £8 if you sell them outside of the platform, or sorry, €8 per trade outside of the platform. All right, so just be aware of that.
I'm just showing, just sharing my screen and showing if they go onto VA Markets and e-wallet, on the bottom left, there's the address there, the Vile Angels Corporate Advisors Limited.
Yeah, and Adrian, like you said earlier on about Philip Reed. Philip Reed used to be one of the head honchos in a company called Merrill Lynch.
Yeah.
And he's got absolute massive credibility for this company. And when you meet the guy, you see why. You know, he's been around the financial industry all his life. And what do you say, he's in his mid-60s?
Yeah, definitely, yeah, mid-60s, yeah, late 60s.
He's got a very, very, very special career.
Hmm. There you go. There's on my screen as well. This is the trade I done yesterday.
I can't see it, mate.
You should be able to.
I got it. I didn't click on it.
On the 21st year, I purchased. No, rather on the 21st year yesterday, I sold 100 shares rather in Athabasca for 183. That's the euros. And then the same day, I bought them back. 100 shares back at 152. So you work that out there, that's a 20% return. So my shares have increased there. I sold them for 100. I sold 100 shares, and I bought the 100 back. So.
But if you click on Athabasca at the moment, I see they've just gone up to 148.
You can keep doing that on a regular basis. This is once you've got the volume of shares, or obviously Athabasca, yeah.
Yeah, go in, click Athabasca a minute. No, it's still 137. I thought it was 130. Go down a second. Okay, but 3 days ago these were £1.
Were they? All right. There you go. I missed that. This is the thing. You've got to go into this if you want to take it seriously and play with it on a daily basis, you know, or even every few hours sometimes.
Every few hours, yeah. I got it on my phone.
Because I've had some cracking trades and put some offers in, and you catch it right. Sometimes there's a bit of luck involved.
If you've got, guys, if you can't see the screen, if you go to the bottom right hand corner and just click his picture, it'll bring it up.
Yeah. But there's my holdings there. I've got about 500,000, just short of 500,000 in Trig. But what I try and do, I'm trying to be, obviously besides Trig, most of my money is in Trig. With the rest of them, I'm just trying to spread my money across the rest of them. So I'm trying to keep my value here around about the same. That's my plan. So basically, what I'm going for is around 500 euros in each company. So spread my risk in each company.
Yeah, but just remember one thing as well, guys, right? That the price in the back office has got no relevance on the actual price of the shares. This is just what members are willing to actually pay, buy them off each other at.
Yeah.
Okay, it's got no relevance to what they're going to float at whatsoever. You can get a benchmark from the strike price. All right, and the strike price is something the company put there to stop reckless selling between members.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Another good question here is, and I think I can probably answer this one anyway. Can you put shares into an ISA or even a pension plan, you know, to avoid capital gains tax? But
that's something we can advise on.
Yeah. That's an IFA, a financial advisors. But Tony was saying, the CEO, that either the end of this year or early next year, that's going to be set up. There's going to be a SIP set up, isn't there, for shares? They're looking at print, so you can put the Vile Angel shares into a SIP. You mentioned that, didn't you? Remember that?
Yeah, but that's once again going to come up from the company, so that's not something we can advise on.
No.
Okay, John, what was your question then again? Can you just quickly show it? Can you just quickly show an offer? Adrian.
Just ask again.
Can you quickly show an offer, the OTC and the normal?
Right. Okay. You want to see an OTC offer, is it?
Yeah. Anyway, you got stop there. You got two. You got two there. You got an ad offer, which means that you're actually offering to buy or sell within the platform, or you've got an OTC offer, which is offering to buy or sell outside of the platform. Okay, so John, if you can write your question again, yeah, my question, LOL. I'm not sure what that is.
LOL, laugh out loud, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but I don't know what question it is. Okay, we'll just show that. We'll bring this to a close, because obviously people are going to want to go to bed now.
You're going to bed this early? You know,
No, people are want to go. You know, somebody's going to bed now.
Yeah, I think that was the last question. That was it basically. Yeah, but a pension, but the ISA. Yeah, but we can't give advice anyway. Can we on pensions?
No, that would have to be done from a professional advisor.
But yeah, at the end of the day, what we want to do, guys, is get more people onto this Hangout on a Wednesday at 9 o'clock, and yeah, bring your prospects along. We want to get the numbers up to sort of 50, 60 plus, you know, and get things moving here, because what's the members at the moment, Gavin? It's about 5,000 plus, isn't it?
I think it's approaching 6 now. Yeah.
I think once the momentum gathers and people start waking up about this, it'll just all kick in, won't it? I think once the exponential side of it gathers.
Yeah, John, if you just click on what I done was just clicked on the picture at the bottom, and it brought the screen up.
No one can see the screen. I can see the screen.
Present to everybody at the top.
What's he trying to do, Geraint?
No one can see the screen, that's all.
You can see my screen, can't you?
Yeah.
Well, they should be able to see the screen as well.
Go back to where it says Hangouts, and I think it says at the top, show everybody. Present to everybody.
All right, okay. Oh yeah, hold on. Oh yeah, it was my fault, I think.
So only I could see it, right? All right, just quickly run through what you just ran through again, and then we'll call it a night.
What was that? The ad offer, the OTC?
Yeah.
So what do you want to know?
No, just show me if you had an OTC offer there.
Yeah, click on OTC. Yeah, that's a one-time.
Yeah, so you choose your company, like Real Point.
Yeah.
All right, and if you wanted to pop in there the number of shares. But like it says there, because it's being sold outside of the VA platform, there's an €8 charge for it, and don't do them in small quantities.
Them shares have gone up, Geraint, 0.02 now.
Yeah, I noticed today they've gone up.
They were 0.01 yesterday, weren't they? Or the day before. So, how many of those shares can I buy for 78 euros?
Couple of thousand.
1,000.
I think it's about 1,000. Yeah.
Is that 0.02 cents or 0.02 SEK?
SEK. So it's 1/5 of 1 cent.
So 1,000 of those is 20. 1,000 of that is 20 SEK. I'm not going to buy more than 1,000, can I?
No, it's 20 SEK. Well, work that out for yourself later, but.
No, I was just going to buy them as a live trade. I was going to put an offer in for them.
Okay, put in an offer. Let me just do a quick calculator a second.
It's about 10,000, not 1,000, surely.
Wait a minute. So if you got, you can have 5%. So you can have per euro, you can have 5 times 10. You can have 50 of them per euro.
50 per euro.
Yeah. So you'd have 1,000 for 20 euros. So if you put in an offer for 3,000 of them, that's right, isn't it?
No, guessing.
3,000.
0.02?
Yeah, 3,000 though.
Oh, 3,000. Oh.
Or is it 30,000?
That doesn't seem enough to me.
No, you should.
It doesn't touch the surface. I still got 63. I think it was 30,000, probably.
Adrian, they're still saying they can't see the screen.
Well, you can see the screen.
Yeah.
They should be able to see the screen. No, it's strange. What about now?
Well, I can see it anyway.
Can you see the screen now?
I can, but they're saying they can't see the screen, so I think we'll call this a night. And then what we can do is, if anybody wants to hook me up on Skype, then I can do a sort of one-on-one screen share with them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, at any time. So when if you want any advice, just hook me up on Skype. Okay.
Okay, guys. Yeah, I just bought 10,000 of those shares now. I bought and put an offer in. Anyway, okay, thanks everyone, and like I said, this has been recorded anyway. This webinar, they are recorded every week. If you go onto my team site, you probably see about the last 4 to 8 weeks recorded anyway. So there's plenty of stuff to get through on the team site. If you want to go through some lots of recordings, you know, I'll put it in the chat there. 2 seconds. But that's my website that I put together, Vital Angels Team, and I put a lot of recordings on there underneath the webinar navigation bit. All right, Gavin, is that it? Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. Okay,
then. Thanks, everyone. And like I said, if you can bring a load of people along next Wednesday, try and bring as many prospects along, and that's what it's all about, basically.
And we'll promise we'll share the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, good night, guys.
Thanks a lot, guys. Cheers. Cheers.